A group of actors, comedians, and musicians are coming together in London to fundraise for medical aid in Gaza. The event, Voices of Solidarity, will be held on the 19th of July and hopes to raise more than £1 million for training specialists and rebuilding trauma, neonatal, and mental health services. Hospitals and healthcare workers have been repeatedly targeted by Israeli forces over the last 21 months, leading to the near total collapse of Gaza's medical sector. Now, joining us now is one of the headliners of the event, the globally renowned comedian and satirist Bassem Youssef. Ahlan ya Bassem.
Hi, can you hear me, guys?
I can hear you great. You look fantastic. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, okay, wonderful. Because you couldn't hear me at the beginning. I'm happy now that it's working.
How are you? You look somewhere very sunny.
Oh yeah, I'm in Los Angeles.
Fantastic. Now, I want to
Yeah.
talk to you about this event. I want to talk to you about your comedy. But first, you are, of course, a heart surgeon by trade. You know what it's like to be in the operating room, working under tremendous pressure. When you look at the situation in Gaza today, what medical workers and volunteers have to go through, the insurmountable odds and the pressure, what do you see?
Well, I haven't worked under that kind of pressure. Like this, I would never even imagine, like even putting myself out there. Like those people are literal heroes. The nurses and the doctors and the health workers, what they have been doing is just extraordinary. I don't think anybody can actually like imagine being in their places. So that's why this event is very dear and close to my heart because it reminds me with my previous profession, but it is something that I wouldn't even dare to do. So all the appreciation to them, those amazing heroes.
Now, Israel has denied access to international media over the last 21 months and targeted Palestinian journalists. More than 200 have been killed. The only outside voices that we have had telling us about the situation on the ground have been health workers, have been doctors, people like Aitor that we just heard from MSF. What do you make of this dual role that medical workers have had to take on to be emergency workers under unbelievable conditions while also bearing the brunt of having to speak to the world at the same time?
No offense, but if you're paying over $30 a month for car insurance, you're getting ripped off.
Well, as heroic as it is, but this situation should not exist. This should not happen. Doctors shouldn't be in a place where they are constantly being shot at and bombed. And the idea about like Israel has denied so many things. They have denied entry, they have denied facts, they have denied reality, they have denied life. And what this evil criminal state is doing is inconceivable. I don't know how this continues. Nobody believed that this continue beyond a few weeks now. It's been almost 2 years, and the world, like, unfortunately, is complicit about what's happening.
And many people have described what is happening in Gaza as a quote unquote live stream genocide. And they've also criticized
But
heavily.
but but wha- but why quote unquote? It is a live stream. Like it's not quote unquote.
I mean,
It is the reality. It's a live streaming genocide. No matter how people think, oh, you don't call it a genocide.
I mean,
I don't know
I
what
do
you would
agree with
call it.
you.
Maybe too much
We
killing.
do,
I
it's
don't
part
know.
out of our style guide. We do call it a genocide. It is a genocide by every measure. What I meant to say is that it is live streamed. And this kind of phrase has been used quite often. And it contrasts with what the role of the media has been in covering it. And many, including yourself, have criticized heavily what the media has done or failed to do in covering it. So how do you describe what the media has done or been unable to do in covering what is a genocide happening in front of our eyes?
Well, the media is not covering it; it's covering up for it, and I think tells us a bigger story about what we were told about what the Western world is and his quote unquote values and quote unquote journalistic integrity. I think it's like this is a moral test that Europe and America has absolutely failed on the media side, on the political side, and I think they have lost whatever moral vantage point that they had, giving us lectures about human rights and about equality and about peace and about freedom. Yeah, I think it is exposed everything that we've been told about the West, or the West has been telling us about themselves.
And we've heard a lot of Western leaders talk about the rule of law, the international order, the need to protect these institutions, and yet many times they have failed to live up to their own words. Why do you think this is?
No, I think it is time to see these institutions for what they are. They are just ways to protect their status of doing whatever the hell they want. I think these international courts and the ICJ, ICC, all of that is actually made for third world countries and for the enemies of the West. These are institutions that have been put in place by the West in order to cover up for what they have been doing. What Israel is doing is an extension of what the West has been doing. Israel could not have done any of this without the complicit, the Europe and America being complicit. I think they are basically bigger criminals protecting smaller criminals.
I think the German chancellor a couple of days ago said that Israel was doing Europe's dirty work for it. When you hear something like that, what does that tell you about what these priorities are for some of these leaders?
Well, first of all, it tells me that Germany has always maintained her position as being on the wrong side of history. It's doing it again and again. So it's good to be consistent. And the whole part about I think we, especially us who have immigrated to the West, have woke up on a discovering that this is a huge bubble, a fake bubble, and it is the same exact kind of oppression and authoritarian rule that we have in the Middle East, but it's done better and more eloquent and more elegant. Basically, they're the same oppressors, but wearing better suits.
Now, as a comedian, your voice has penetrated through the noise of the narratives in the mainstream media. Sometimes it feels like we're living in a Groundhog Day where the same narratives are repeated over and over again. And your voice manages to capture both the anger of what many people are feeling, but also injecting a sense of dark comedy in a way that didn't seem possible really until you did it for the first time. How do you strike that balance between anger and levity?
I don't know if I'm striking any balance. I went there with anger and with a little bit of bitterness, and for some reason it worked. But I don't know. Like, there's no formula for it. I just expressed my anger and my frustration at it, and it's sad that comedians will make more sense than journalists, and it's sad that we should even be speaking about that. A comedian should not be talking about genocide. But we speak because the journalists and the politicians are not doing their job, and what we do is not even.
Breaking news. The number one cause of heart attacks and strokes isn't hypertension. It isn't cholesterol, too much red meat, or salt. It's actually this. Every 40 seconds, another American has a heart attack, and most of them received a clean bill of health from their doctor. Dr. Luis, MD, an award-winning lipidologist, wanted to know why thousands of seemingly healthy people are dying without warning. What he found shocked the medical community, because the real killer wasn't hypertension or cholesterol. It was something far more insidious, a condition called coronary artery calcification. But heart specialists have a more accurate name for it, stone heart syndrome, because that's literally what happens. Your arteries turn to stone, blocking blood flow to your heart. Dr. Luis explains it
this should not exist. You see, we're talking about a situation that shouldn't exist. Doctors should not be working under fire. Comedians should not be talking about stopping genocide because it shouldn't happen in the first place. This is the sad status of the world, unfortunately.
And as you mentioned, the boldest voices that we've heard speaking up for Palestine have been artists, whether it's musicians like Kneecap and Macklemore, or it's comedians such as yourself. And you're taking a stance that many world leaders have failed to take. Should it come down to artists to be the voices of sanity in this moment?
No, it shouldn't. I'm sorry. Like, my cat is trying to escape from the garden. Okay, I had to put her, to bring her down, because sometimes they're climbers.
Why is your cat fleeing?
This is their garden time, so I let them out in the garden, but I have to keep an eye on them. I'm sorry about the question again. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah.
No, I mean it's great to see a tour of your house. So thank you for showing us. But I'm asking you, why is it that it takes people such as yourselves, or it takes musicians like Kneecap and Macklemore to say what others are not saying, and people are gravitating around you and others because you are saying what they feel and what they want to hear their own leaders saying. Why are we in this moment? Why does it take a comedian to be able to say what world leaders are not saying?
Well, first of all, I don't have any kind of interest in the war, so I can say that whatever I want without having to be shackled down with whatever bribes politicians are taking from from those people. So, and artists in general. I mean, we're good with words, whether that is with music, with comedy. So we talk, we say what's on our mind as human beings. We just have a way to say it, but again, it is an outlet, and it's a release, and it's temporary, and it gives you a temporary feeling of small victory when a comedian says a joke about it, or an artist leads people in a chant. But it is very short-lived, and it's when people say like medicine is laughter is medicine. No, it's a painkiller. It's a temporary thing, something that we feel good about for a short time. And it is sad that it really comes to this. It's sad that like clowns like me have to talk about important stuff like genocide. I am a clown. I'm a dancing clown. I'm a kind of like a decently paid clown. And I don't, and the fact that like you end up being in a situation like this, it tells you that this whole thing is a circus. Yeah, I think when clowns speak, this is where you know that we are living in a circus. That is actually an actual circus we're living in.
But there is a cost, isn't there, to speaking in the way that you do? You've spoken before about being called anti-Semitic, being attacked for that, but you also live in a country right now as an immigrant, as you said, that is being very critical, that is cracking down on pro-Palestinian speech. What do you feel? I mean, is that something that weighs on your mind about what you can say and what you can't say, and what it could mean for your own livelihood, your own career?
Well, what's happening in Gaza, it tells us less about what's happening in Gaza and tells us more about the status of the free world. What does it mean to be free? What does it mean to have free speech? Because it seems that when we activate that right of free speech becomes so selective. Like what happened like in London, in the UK, when Bob Dylan went out and chanted death to the IDF, in a country where you can have the freedom to speak horrible things, unspoken things about the king, the royal family, the church, God himself. But when it is an army of a criminal entity, you are now being, you're having your visa revoked, your career being destroyed. I mean, you asked me about like, what does it mean to pay the price? I mean, yeah, I pay the price, but it's a very small price. There are some people that being fired from their jobs. There are students in colleges that had their career completely destroyed. I paid a very, 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 very small price. I paid nothing, like compared to other people who have actually spoken up here, or the people who are living under that, living hell every day. So whatever I've went through is nothing compared to the people who had their life destroyed because they dare talk about a foreign country.
You are about to come to London in just a couple of days to headline this upcoming event, Voices of Solidarity. What does the event hope to achieve?
Well, this is the least we can do. I mean, if we can sit from the comfort of their homes, from the convenience of our phones, or go pay a ticket to like a nice evening out, I think this is the least that we can do to help those people who are under fire, people who are. I mean, to go and volunteer is one thing, but to go and volunteer in a place where you can lose your life because you're trying to help save other people's life, this is like a level of dedication and a level of heroism that we can't even fathom. So I would really love for everybody to come and join that night and get the tickets, and knowing that their money is going to help people who, like, they're operating on people without anesthesia while fire and bombs are raining down on them. I don't know. If we don't support those people, I don't know who else we can support.
And are you worried now when you travel, given everything that is happening at the border, given everything that's happening with TSA, what it would mean for you to come back after this event to try and get back home, to go through an airport in the US?
Well, that meme of JD Vance was very, very fat and very round head, because that there is a Norwegian tourist that has been, taken, denied entry because of that. I'm making this as my my home screen in my phone.
Fantastic. Bassem Youssef, Nawarta Live, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much, and looking forward, guys, to see you in London.
See you soon. That was comedian and former heart surgeon Bassem Youssef, and you can see him perform at London at the Voices of Solidarity event on July 19th.